I want to give this a real good think because my instinct is to be like, there's no question I wouldn't ask the box. But there could be. It's that doubting the doubt again. Like, there really could be a question I wouldn't ask the box. It's almost like if by coming up with questions I shouldn't ask the box, they become the most important questions to ask the box. So
I like you.
No.
I have respect for you now. That was a good answer. Yeah.
Thanks.
That was really good.
No, I love this. This is really good.
Okay, that was question 1. It's hot. At least it's not as hot as yesterday.
Yeah. At least there's clouds that can still take the mountains.
Okay, so you overheard that I was doing this, and then what? You were like, I want to do that, or?
Yeah. I sat on it for, I don't know, like 20 hours, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Cool. Or maybe I decided instantly. I'm not really sure. But I think I knew I wanted to do it, but now I feel ready to do it. Yeah, I saw you with Kyle over there.
With Kyle. Oh, right. We were going over the survey just a little bit. If somebody... So basically there's many different avenues we can take, and it's really all up to you. You can either tell me something that you believe is true, and my goal will be to try to bring clarity to that idea and ask you a lot of questions about it. Though it'll also maybe be challenging. And I'll ask questions regarding how you formed the idea. Yeah. And how you came to it. And
I anticipated all of that.
Okay, good.
Anything else?
Sounds like you have something in mind. The survey
is a place to begin if you're not really sure.
If you're not really sure, or if you're wanting like a super, super deep dive, you can do both.
Well
you
said.
can do one or the other.
I actually envisioned like this like little chart vertically with like little spider legs off with the like if I have a wacky belief where it's like, or just a belief where it's like, oh, this is novel, along the survey I'll share it. Is that I would like to do that.
You want to take a look at it, or do you want to just tell me?
No, I would like to see what you put together.
Okay.
Because I would like to start at the basics.
All right.
Not really sure what I'm going to end up saying.
Okay. Well, so these are different epistemologies. They're different like ways in which beliefs about how we form beliefs. And it's like a collection of things that I hear people say, or that other people who do what I do hear people say in interviews like this. And so we just started writing them down, and that's it. So go ahead and take a look at that. This pen is a little, hold on, let me get it working. Okay.
I don't think I have a pen on
That's
there.
good. That's good.
Just thought I'd look in.
It's working.
Pen. Name Sprinkles.
Hey, Sprinkles.
Ooh, gosh, this pen won't work unless I.
Oh wait, no. No, it's fine.
sorry.
It's fine. I really need to get another pen.
Renegade. I just decided to take it off and use it as a little. I'm good at writing with just a little nibbin. I did that when I was traveling for years.
It's all good. Let me see here.
Are you sure? I love the rocket.
So, shoot. Yeah, the spring or something like flew out of it.
Do you mind if I just...
I've had it for years and years. It's time to retire it. I think I have another pen, yeah.
Good. You had more than one. Brilliant.
I don't know how good they are, but we'll give it a shot.
Let's do blue. I like it.
Okay.
Name Sprinkles. Clean sparkles. Confidence from 0 to 100.
That's in your claim. If you have a claim, you can write it down there.
So, under agree, I would write like 80 if I agreed with 80% confidence.
Yeah, so, and really the scale,
That's how I interpret that.
the scale is kind of however you want to define 100, however you want to define 0.
Yeah.
Would you like my interpretation of what 100 or 0 is, or would you like to tell me what you think? So to me, 0 is all I have are questions. I have no confidence. It doesn't mean that you think it's positively not the case. It just means no idea.
Yeah.
All questions about it.
Agnostic, solidly, like
just like I want to know. I just don't know. That would be 0. 100 would be all I have is confidence that this is the case, and maybe you could be absolutely positive with 100%. My skill, 100 is the most confident I've ever been. So like it could be compared to the most confident thing I'm confident in. Could be 100, or 100 could just be like, I'm certain, absolutely certain that this is the case. And so any number in between, you can define it however you want. What do you think 50 would be? If 0 were defined those ways, 100 was defined that way, what do you think
I would
50
say 50
mean?
would be fence sitting and dissatisfied with both choice. I actually feel that way about like eating animals, like today, right now, so to speak, because I used to be vegan and I used to be vegetarian for like a combined 14 or 15 years, and I'm only in my early 30s, so but now I just go for it because I felt like I tipped the scales on like that it was more of a sacrifice than an impact, and I wasn't sure if I was doing anything to my health, good or bad, and so I just went the other way, even though I'd been quite confident about the first one.
So you started questioning yourself. You were vegan, and then you started questioning yourself.
I was vegetarian at 12, and then I was vegan at probably 20, and then by 25, I was eating meat again.
Okay, so like 5 years, it sounds like. What do you think was the thing?
I'm 34 now, so actually it's 9 years.
9 years?
Yeah.
When, let's say, what was that claim back then when you were vegan? What was the claim that drove your behavior?
Golly.
If you could sum up that whole concept into one sentence, what would you tell yourself back then?
That any choice can be boiled down to like a better action or a less better action, that like you should always do the most good choice regardless of harm reduction, regardless of everything. You know, it's always better that an animal stays alive rather than dead. And I actually wrote down a thing on life goals, was that I wanted to remain vegetarian for my whole life.
Oh, that was a life goal.
I was an activist too. My mom would try to force me to watch old movies with her, and I'd be like, I'll trade you one old movie for one animal rights pamphlet. And it actually made it so that she changed her beliefs a little bit, and she didn't eat pork anymore after learning some hard stuff and seeing some hard photos.
Yeah.
So, and that's funny, because like, she didn't become an animal rights person or a vegetarian or stop eating beef or chicken or anything like that. Just pork, though, because that one resonated. So I thought that was an interesting...
That is interesting. What do you think was the reason for only pork and not the other things?
I think she's very, very immature, like a child's mind. I think she really has a problem with globalizing concepts because she doesn't reflect. She's a really hard personality. We don't talk anymore.
Oh, that is hard. That's
yeah,
hard
I have a kind of extreme past. I was telling the boys over there, I was at risk of losing my life, and it felt that way. So I'm a survivor in a literal sense.
Well, I'm glad you're here to tell me your
too.
story.
Dude.
So what we should do is give you some time. I can't remember if I asked for consent to record yet or not.
Yes,
while we were rolling.
please.
Okay.
And you gave me consent to vape while I was...
Yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing. Be comfortable. Go ahead and fill that out however you'd like. And then we'll get started after you're done filling it out.
Is it okay if we talk through while I do it? Or is that weird?
You can talk it through, yes.
Okay, cool.
Whatever
I'm kind
works
of
for
an
you.
externalized thought person.
Yeah.
I'd say my general confidence on stuff in general is like 65. I have, like, if I had to rate my whole life of how confident I am about how I live today, it's 65 out of 100, I think.
Wait, does that mean you've never been at 100 before?
where I'm like super confident. No, when I was younger, I used to be way more close to 100 with black and white thinking. And now I suppose it's a belief that I don't like black and white thinking. So I do still have some things. So it's over 50. I do have more confidence than I have agnosticism.
You're talking about all beliefs?
I'm talking about all of my beliefs. I thought that, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, like, speaking, like, literally globally about every item that you can believe in life and how much confident I feel in general about my opinions. I would say, like, 100 for me is, this is my opinion, and I am so unlikely to change this opinion. I've considered.
Right.
I'm sure that I've considered 90% of the angles for this opinion.
Yeah.
That's 100 for me.
Yeah.
And 50 is that, like, you aren't sure.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little bit of anxiety because it's like I could be pushed either way. And, like, maybe I'm a risk for this. I don't really know. Maybe I should figure that out. A little tension. 50 is the tension where it's like you need resolution because it's not going to.
So you see your own mind as like you have observed that in the past you were more steadfast in your beliefs with black and white thinking, and now today you're more resident to change your mind, and you're generally for all things you doubt a lot. You question things is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, when I was
for pretty much anything that you believe.
The year I became vegetarian when I was 12, I'd say in general in my life, how much I doubted or believed in things was more like 85 out of 100. Okay. My parents were extremely bad role models, and I was really isolated and an only child. So it was like, I knew I was doing really well compared to them. And like I was carrying the family sort of. So there was a pride, and I feel like that was, now the distance from that, seeing how extreme it was and that it let me push myself into a lot of conclusions I find wrong now, I have less overall confidence and more open-mindedness. But I used to get bullied by my dad, like, don't be so open-minded that your brain falls out.
Right. What are the characteristics of an open mind, do you think? What does it take to be open-minded?
To try to, like, listen without prejudice in your heart to whatever somebody else is saying, and to not have ownership or tension over changing your mind. Like the Quaker, one belief I have that has stuck with me, and I echoed this earlier last night, I think, this is my interpretation of what I understand it to be, the Quaker belief that when a thought comes into your mind and then out of your mouth, like that process, you don't have to have ownership of that process, and it's actually more their belief that, like, this is something that communally happens. The things that escape your mouth, you don't have to have any ego about them. They came from nowhere, they go to nowhere, or everywhere.
Is this like kind of like speaking in tongues, or...
No. Just saying, like the way that I'm speaking right now, like from an authentic self, they believe, I feel like I'm speaking pretty authentically right now, and like they would believe that the idea is contrasted by trying to negate the idea that the ego is attached to the things we say. It's trying to erase that Quaker belief is trying to erase the belief that we should identify the things that we say, or believe, I suppose, that there should always be a sort of communal open-mindedness in a way. I don't know. So open-mindedness, I really like that. But my confidence on that belief, that's probably 85 out of 100. I don't know if I've ever been 100. I can only be 100 on like little like 1, 2, or 3. Like in a day, I can be like 100 about something.
How confident are you that I'm sitting right before you?
101.
Okay.
100, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's an example.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how confident am I that you are the only you sitting before the only me? Like 40 to 70% confidence on any given day. Like,
if you're 40%,
yeah,
something...
quantum physics are kind of captivating, eh?
Okay.
Like, I don't like string theory with the 10 dimensions. I don't know if you're familiar. I know I'm gonna have to explain myself, but you know, I don't have. So like below 50 would be starting to dip below 50 would be. I don't have a way to prove this.
At what number do you think on the scale do you start to believe a thing? Or at least what number is like the benchmark for believing. If beliefs were like a balloon and you hold them.
Like 51.
51.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I tried to do
where I'd put
do
it
50.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
52 maybe.
Yeah.
Little wiggle room. 51.5. You could just like run back.
Does
to
that
the
mean
chest.
that you?
I hate commitment.
Does that
I will
mean-
not get a tattoo. I'm not monogamous. I won't get married. I don't
Sure.
have kids. I won't have kids. I do not commit to stuff. I'll commit to like coming to a festival, but like if it's like be here at 4 p.m. Like I'm one of the ones who throws the program away and doesn't look at the clock.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to emphasize for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so 51 and a half for 2. 52 is about where I draw the line, where it's like, okay, and it's not necessarily, no, it's not a belief at that point. I think it has to hit a threshold of like, I guess 75, like 3/4. If it hits
Does that
75
mean
and
that you
above, it's
don't
a belief.
believe? Does that mean you right now you don't believe that I'm the only one person sitting in this chair?
Yeah, I guess I put it at 40 to 70%, and then I put belief at 75%. I cannot hold the belief that you are the only you sitting in that chair talking to the only me. It does not meet the threshold for my belief.
That's very interesting. What would it mean for me to not be the only me? What
That
would
there
that
are
even mean?
different yous and me's that we can't know about, or that we glimpse perhaps, like seeing through the veil, some people say, or in different conscious states we might see our dream self. We have no explanation for who that is or what's happening, in my opinion, or it's my belief. That does meet belief. It's I'd say like 85% confidence in the belief that dreams cannot be simplified down to science alone of brain chemistry and electrodynamics.
You mean dreams is another way to phrase what you're saying, that dreams are something more than our imagination while we're asleep?
The word imagination is really contentious. I think that's perspective.
I use that word intentionally.
Yeah.
Is it imagination, or is it more than imagination?
I don't know if there is a distinction between what we call imagination and what we call glimpsing through the void. That is also like at about 80% confidence. That I think that imagination could be very deeply misunderstood.
All right, slow down for a second.
Yeah.
Take a breath. What does it mean to look into the void? What does that mean?
To witness spontaneous thought. To not be controlling your thoughts, but to witness them. So anything meditative meets the guideline, anything psychedelic or relaxing. It actually is very dreamy, sleeping, like sex, like it's real, like eating, rituals, watching theater, like is there? I mean, what isn't? I don't know.
Okay.
When does imagination turn off?
So just
right, like,
I'm observing this talk
visuals
move to and fro, and what I'd really like to do is to laser focus in on a particular belief that you want to tell me, or this. So think for a moment. If you had one belief you really want to stand on and tell people about, feel free to take your time choosing what that would be. And it could be anything political. It could be about veganism. It could be about the void. That was kind of interesting. Imagination. What is imagination? That sounds kind of cool too.
I'd only want to like advocate for something I like 90% believe in. That's another thing. Like,
well, that's the thing. I'm looking for something that you do believe is true.
Yeah, I'm kind of an agnostic person and open-minded, so this is going to be a little bit slippery. Let me just read.
How about
read the questions first?
Yeah, fill out the survey, and then we can ask questions about each one, and maybe you can tell me one in particular that's of interest to you, and we can.
Man, I'm an English major, and I'm already like wanting to circle the word reality and be like, "See me for explanation."
Right. So
a statement is true when it corresponds to reality. Does reality? Oh, honey bunny. Oh, Elijah. Sorry, I know that kid. Is reality objective reality that you and I can agree on? Because that could end up being very little depending on who you're talking to.
Right.
Like, that's actually pretty rough. A statement is true when it corresponds to reality.
Yeah, there's
only if you're talking to yourself.
So there's multiple definitions for that word, and what I'm interested in is the reality that you and I both share. So yeah, like objective universal reality.
Things that you and I are 90% likely to agree are 90% or 100% true.
Yeah, or you could claim...
I know you and I are here. I have no idea what else is happening in the background.
Sure, I like that. I like that about you.
Oh, cool.
So take your time.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's sit in silence for a while, and I'll probably cut out a lot of this part, and maybe fill it out in silence, because you haven't even marked one yet. So go through.
I'm an overall 65.
And feel free to circle. Feel free to circle, annotate, do whatever you want.
All these pens don't work.
All these pens don't work.
Look at that.
I can try to get you another one. That one works.
This one works. Let's see.
Here, I'll take that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
A statement is true when it corresponds to reality. Yeah, let's do it.
I like your attitude, Sparkles.
Thanks, man.
All right, I'm gonna mosey for a second. I'll be right back.
Do you have a lot of time?
I have all day.
Great. Your secretary said you have 3 of these. So funny.
3?
The one with the pretty toes over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I filled out, or had some people fill out a survey.
Do some people not take this like it's dead serious science? Because I do. This
Right?
is really, really fun.
I
hard.
spent like a whole year with a group of other people on Discord trying to word these right. We actually changed some of these since I made these prints. So number 9 is different now than it used to be. So this is the old version of number 9.
Were you at Soak doing a Dada thing?
I was probably at Soak. I've been to every Soak since 2013.
Were you like the ones who were issuing the violations and you were like the Dada whatnot?
No. I had a referee outfit once and I was throwing yellow flags for people who are having too much fun.
Okay, you look really familiar. Yeah, we were probably
flag on the field, together. Too much fun.
Nice. Oh man. Sorry, that was just stoking a memory of 2017 Soak.
Yeah. Watch the guideline. Sorry about that.
That was the last time I filled out a burner form, so this is really lovely.
Good.
Dude, strong belief, even without action, can change external reality. No. Nope. Like, some I'm really unsure about and some I'm really sure about. It's crazy. That's why my overall number is 65. I don't know how I determined that first. Like, if there was a question of, like, do I know how I work? It'd be, like this box right before disagree.
Okay.
Some beliefs should never be questioned. Like, what the hell does that... Did anybody click that?
Some people do.
Don't tell me that.
Some people
do. Really?
Yeah.
Some people at these... do?
I've had every single answer to every single one of these.
There's no way.
Yeah.
That's why you do this.
Yeah.
That's fucking cray.
Let's move you closer into the shade. Feel free to scoot in a little bit.
That blows my mind.
That sun's moving a little bit. Yeah.
Someone can be certain something is true yet still be mistaken. Of course. I'm the opposite of a cultural relativist. I was just trying to say that the other night, where it's like, I do not care where 10. You come from. Yeah, I don't give a shit where you're from. You can't do what you want, like, based on...
Don't spoil it. I want to talk to you about it after you fill it out.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Ridiculous. Okay. Believing something is false feels just like believing something that is true. That's the best question yet.
That's one of my favorite on the survey.
Yeah, I'm going to star this one. Oh, and it's number 11. 11% such a good number. I have, like, dumb superstitions that show up all the time. And I believe in them, like, between 80 and 90%, so...
You have superstitions that you believe to 80 and 90%?
So that's why I couldn't say disagree about the falsifying, like, believing in stuff you can't falsify. It sort of, like, jumps the shark because it proved itself to me to be, like, this creepy pattern, and now I feel like it would be less likely. I just, like, feel like the other one needs more justifying at this point. it's weird. I've like flipped somehow when enough nonsense like lines up in like seemingly patterned, meaningful ways.
Okay.
That is an exception.
Okay, we'll get to that.
But some people can think that they're experiencing that, but they're not, and they can be wrong too. So it's mostly to disagree. You need to be able to learn yourself. Believing something that is false feels just like believing something is true. Honestly, it's probably different for a lot of different people's psychologies. I have to go in the middle. I can't answer this question only for myself. Because I don't personally, I mean, it does though, honestly. Yeah, I mean, but it doesn't. I'm exactly like in the middle on this one. That's rough. That's a 50. Feelings are a reliable way to discover truth. No, not alone, but like they're not, it's not a false statement. But it doesn't reach reliability. Believing something without evidence is admirable. Evidence. Evidence is really subjective. I'm allowed to. I believe certain people aren't justified to hold beliefs, even if it's totally subjective. It's like I'm willing to fight wars on subjectivity, I guess. I don't know.
Ooh, that's interesting. What do you mean by that?
I'm gonna circle 17. That's a problematic one.
Yeah, that is. I agree. That's probably the hardest one on the survey.
Oh, man.
That, number 1, number 24, number 17, number 18. Those 4. If I only could pick 4, those would be the 4 I'd pick. Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
You said 1, 2, 11, 17, and 18?
1, 17, 18, and 24.
Yeah, I had a really hard time doing that.
Maybe 13. It's hard to say. They're all pretty necessary.
I hope you edit this good so you include some of this stuff. But yeah, so
yeah, I'll try to. I'll definitely edit the filling out the form part a lot because there's going to be a lot of silence and stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We'll just come back to some of these hard ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that soon. The most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality. Well, I'm not like ready for that much of a hard question right now. Oh wait. The most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality.
Another way to ask this question, a way to ask a question about that statement. Well, first of all, what do you think, before I do that, what do you think 18 means? In your own words. The most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality. Is there another way to phrase that?
I feel like it depends on whether or not you define reality as something that you can, like I think that one of them is like, I don't know, is up and what is truth? Well, I wish there was a question on here that says like, reality is defined by a state of mind, and then like you could rate that, or like that reality is 100% objective and 0% subjective. Like, I don't know, something like that. Like,
how about
reality
this?
is rough.
How about
like,
this?
The word reality is really
if
hard.
I were to take that and put it into a question, was there a reality before there was anyone alive?
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
Okay.
If there was a point at which there was no one alive, we have no proof for that. That's not something I can stand on a claim for. So a lot of things become asterisks because on a lot of big questions, I am agnostic.
Sure.
So a lot of these are like central because they ride in the boat of like not being able to reach an objective point from our subjective points, even though we can like shout objective points with our bullhorns at each other. Like we can't necessarily like reach objectivity island.
Yeah.
I have no idea how else to say
That's
that.
what this process is about.
Oh man, I hope I remember saying that. Yeah, you have it on film. Give me the unedited version if you could.
I will, yeah. I'll send you the
Yeah.
audio. So I have a notebook where I keep people's contact info, and then I'll message
Thank
it to
you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, I want the edited and unedited because I probably say a lot of crazy shit. The most important criteria. God, what if like somebody cares about me and I die and this is the last thing? That'd be cute.
How about this? Let's put this in the form of a question. How important is it for you to believe in things that are true? Let's say on a scale between 1 and 10. 10 is it's very important for me to believe in things that are true, and let's see, 1 is not at all important.
100.
Okay.
Like it's very, but like
Is
truth,
the most important criteria for your beliefs that they match reality, or match what's true?
No.
Mm.
Because I think even really strong wrong beliefs are part of the process. And I think the wrong answers are as much a part of the right answers as like I think that they are inseparable.
Yeah. So the next 6 here are gonna test how much you are really at 100 for how important it is versus how not important it is. So maybe skip 18 for now, and maybe we can get to that later.
You're like, you're genuinely not ready for 18. No, good.
18 is not an easy one. It's definitely a hard one. I grapple with it all the time.
This was harder than walking around the whole camp collecting the trash already. I'm like I often investigate beliefs. Did you not match my own? Almost every single one of my... Whoa. How many things do I really have at belief level? Ooh, man, I'm not even sure if I have beliefs. This is actually getting epic. I actually am not sure if I have
And we
one
haven't
belief.
even really started
I don't
yet
even
either.
know if I
It's
have
just
one
the
belief
survey.
now. Oh, my.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, you started rubbing your eyes, eh? That's a
It's
mistake.
allergies.
Gigi.
It's allergies out here, but it's all good. I have eye drops. I just haven't done them yet today.
Oh, nice. Mine got better the longer I've been here. Tuesday and Wednesday was ridiculously bad. Okay.
Do you often investigate beliefs that do not match your own? Be
If
honest
I
with
have
yourself.
if I have things that are lurking at 75 or below or above, well, no, we're talking about 75 or above. Anything that I have at 75 or above, I'm just gonna imagine in a little camp. And do I investigate the opposite? Yeah, like all the time. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So the more confident you are in something, the more interested you are in investigating the opposite. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, I am hungry to like refine my beliefs. Like it's not mental, it's just a drive. Like I'm just repelled by the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just repelled by the opposite. I really do need to know everyone else's reality. I do, and I like hearing about people's drug trips. And I don't take any other drugs except for weed, because I just like hearing about theirs. And I'm trying to piece together with a sober brain, like whether or not any of theirs have any real connections or connections to like my life without psychedelics. And that's one of the only real like science experiments I've been playing with reality to try and see if there is some kind of just like what the relationship is between psychedelic reality and non-psychedelic reality, basically. Because I think there's a key in that.
Let me ask a different way to say that same thing, but make it a question. Is there a difference between imagination and reality?
I don't know. That's a 50.
Can things happen in imagination that positively do not happen in reality?
That's a 50.
That's a 50?
I feel like it's all those are both tied to is imagination on the level of reality.
Okay.
And I honestly, it's almost 51 or 51 and a half. I'm very on the fence, but I'm a little biased.
I'm
to
really
the idea,
curious to see how you'll...
I'm a little biased to the idea that imagination is the same as reality, as important as reality, part of reality.
Well,
but everybody's imaginations is a part of objective
a part of reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a part, like, my brain is in your reality, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And almost like the Quaker thing I was trying to say earlier, like there is no outside source to pull ideas from. So any theory, any psychedelic experience, it's somewhere on a map, somewhere in the human experience. And it's like, I don't know, the blanket theory. It's the blanket.
The blanket from I Heart Huckabees?
Yeah, it's the blanket.
Yeah. And this is a hamburger.
Oh my
and this
god!
Is
Oh god! Oh, I was recommending that movie to Raccoon last night. I was like, you have to watch I Heart Huckabees.
I love that movie so much.
Dude, me too.
I'm basically Dennis Hoffman from that movie.
Oh,
I am the existentialist detective.
Why is Katerine here? She never leaves Paris. Oh god. I did Katerine Vauban studies in college. I was a major in Katerine Vauban.
Are we gonna do
I swear she's based on a real person who was my professor, Mary Ann Bailey.
Oh, really?
She was admitted to being
the nihilist.
Yeah, she was an expert on Friedrich Nietzsche and on Eugene Ionesco. Probably top 10, knows about their lives, blah 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 blah. From Cologne, Germany, Cologne, and with the best cathedral in the world. And then she married a cowboy named Buck, and they designed their own house in the woods. And she practices Vaudin.
This is your teacher?
Voodoo. Yeah, this is my former teacher, Marianne.
Okay.
She's really ridiculous.
It's easy for us to get off track
so
because you talk about one of my favorite movies, and I'll just go on about that all day. I Heart Huckabees is a good one. Huckabees.
I've seen that movie a crazy amount of times. That one and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind are.
That's a good one too.
I can't edge that one out of first place. Ooh, but I saw the Fantastic Mr. Fox recently.
All right, keep going.
I have ADHD.
No one's gonna want. I
have ADHD.
Right, no one's gonna get through a whole 2-hour long thing if we keep getting off track. It's just so
no, you said you had all day.
I do. It's more of
crying and now he's okay. He's being cute. He's the only other person of the same astrology sign as I've found at the whole camp. And asking everyone their astrology at this whole goddamn thing since Tuesday at 10 p.m. And that child is the only one that shares my zodiac sign. Cancer.
Astrology is a good claim also to investigate.
That's one of my beliefs. That is one of the only ones that reaches belief status. Astrology is at an 89.
89.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very strong about astrology.
Okay.
I believe several things about astrology. If I were to say, I could not say astrology is part of objective reality and governs our lives. Would not use that as a belief necessarily, but I'm 89% confident that something fishy and true, there's a truth in astrology. I am 89% sure that there is a truth.
I would love to investigate that belief. Let's go ahead. You only have 5 more on the survey left?
Well, I'm remembering my beliefs as I go through the thing. I heard Huckabees is a belief.
That's the point of the survey.
Sure.
Yeah, the survey helps
it's
flush all that out.
Well, I have some Jewish background too, and questioning is a value. Values and beliefs.
Number 20.
Oh God. I wouldn't even read it. I start explaining it. That's part of why I believe in stuff it's hard to explain. It's beneficial to find out when I'm wrong about something, of course. But finding out you're wrong, according to who? Governing, the hammer on reality.
To your own satisfaction. If something convinces you to your own satisfaction, is it beneficial?
Thank you. Yeah. I will abandon a belief if I discover reliable information that falsifies it. Of course. Who the hell would I be? I am so disgusted that people don't answer that. That's repulsive. That's disgusting that anyone would not answer that. That really trips off my repulsion switch.
I lost that. You just need to tie this down.
Have you heard people talk about repulsion switches?
No.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Oh yeah, it's just at the point. It's just when your gut says oh fuck that.
All right, looks like you finished?
Yeah.
All right,
It was the easiest part.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for putting so much attention into it.
Oh, well, you started it.
Thank you.
You started this. I can't believe it.
Well, some people just fly right through it or don't think
dude.
about it very
Whatever.
much or.
Well,
Number
Even people
24.
at festivals, jeez.
It is possible that some of my beliefs are not true.
I am certain that some of my beliefs are not true.
Yeah, okay. If that's the case, are we aware of them, or are we not aware of the false beliefs?
I think there's a spectrum of being aware of your false beliefs. I think everybody is landing on a spectrum of being able to assess their beliefs.
If you were to be made aware of a belief of yours that happened to be false, would you find that beneficial to find out about it?
Yes, I would also find it a little bit stressful because I have this question. It would be stressful, but also really exciting because now I have to go through all of my beliefs and see how they're connected to this one that was faulty. But also now I might be globally improving my belief system.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit heavy, but it's very good. Yeah.
Okay. And I see the only one that you weren't strongly agree on for the when we should change our minds portion of the survey was 23. The more unusual the statement, the stronger the evidence needs to be.
I think usual statements should still need very strong evidence.
Oh, I see. So
But also, if you have one of the campers here told me that she is from space. She was we were looking at the stars, and she said, I'm from one of those up there. And I could not bring myself to say anything. I stood in silence. I could not say anything. Because I wasn't going to invalidate her belief or make her express it.
Yeah, there's a time and place, for sure.
Well, this is kind of the time and place. I mean, and she really
Sometimes
does
people just say things like that just to be playful.
No,
she really thought she was from space?
She and I have been at a festival before, and we discussed this as a theoretical idea. And she and another person expressed a lot of enthusiasm for belief in the idea that there are starseeds, that there are people who are of alien DNA or origin or spirit origin or some such that are now here in this reality, like you and I. The thought that you or I could have a relation to a star that is as meaningful as our relationship to this, in terms of how we determine a meaningful relationship.
Do you think this person is mistaken about being from space?
I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can't prove it. It falls under the one about falsifying.
2022.
No,
I will
it was up
abandon the
here.
belief if I discover reliable
No, it was
information that
about.
falsifies
Pardon
it.
me. It was
I think that's the only one that has
a test that cannot identify a failure
is a valid test.
as a valid test. I
Yeah.
think is the one.
That's the one that we also changed, by the way. The new version on the survey says we should be satisfied with a test that can only confirm our claim.
Oh, that changes it a little. Can you say it again?
Yeah, we should be satisfied with a test that can only confirm our claim.
No, I understand. It's just a different way. It's just using fewer negatives, but that's fine. No, I understand it.
Yeah.
A test that, I will paraphrase it, a test that cannot identify a failure is a valid test.
Yeah.
Meaning, if I can't prove
Well, that's the thing. It's about
my
you,
belief,
You can't
it's
disprove
still
it.
okay.
You can't show that it's not
Right.
there.
If I cannot disprove my belief,
Yeah.
I can still believe in it. That's kind of what it's saying.
Well, the question is,
Hoi.
if you can't show an idea isn't true,
Then should I believe in it?
have you used a test to show that it is? Or should we be satisfied with a test that can only give us the answer we're looking for? Or should the test give us some ability to challenge ourselves in our belief in order for us to be justified in believing in it?
Yeah, I think that because I don't know this person in question who thinks she's an alien of origin, I don't really know why. I don't know her evidence, And in terms of evidence, she could have some kind of experience or series of experiences that could shape my belief system. And some things are too difficult to disprove, that we still find a real desire to know. It's too difficult to disprove. It's too difficult to make any claims about, like, definitively, like, what happens to us after we die, for instance.
So that's 17. So 17 is someone is justified in their beliefs until they are proven wrong. So imagine for a moment...
Right, that too.
Imagine for a moment, 24 here, somebody is believing in something which is in fact false. So let's say it's something that isn't true.
Just like is not true.
It's just not true. Imagine that for a moment.
Like
Imagine
the idea that
is
humans
wrong.
live on Mars right now.
Just imagine anyone with a wrong idea.
Okay.
That's not
Flat
the
earthers,
case.
I think.
That's suitable.
Yeah.
Now imagine for a moment that there's no way to show that they're wrong. Are they justified because you can't show them that they're wrong? And here's the thing.
I think they are justified to their opinion because no one can prove it wrong.
Here's the thing. If it is in fact...
It's an opinion. It cannot reach a belief. It has to be an opinion.
If it is in fact false, are they going to be stuck in a false belief for all time?
Well, it
Because
should
there's
be
no way to show them.
It should be unfalsifiable, though. Like, in this circumstance, right? It should be something that you, like, cannot falsify. Like God things.
So,
all the God things you can't falsify.
Right. So this is why it's weird, because you both can't falsify it, and it's also false.
I mean, it's not provable.
Well,
like,
imagine... So I'm baking it into the thought experiment. Imagine it's false. It's not true. Right?
Yeah.
And they're believing anyway. And there's also no way to show them that they're wrong. So I guess the question is, would they ever find out that they're stuck in a belief that's not true?
Should they or will they?
Will they? Will they ever be unstuck from that false idea? If they're using 17 here, saying, you can't show me I'm not right, so I'm going to keep believing in it, would they be stuck forever believing that it is the case?
Well, it's that they're justified in their beliefs until they're proven wrong. Once they're proven wrong, I don't think they're justified in their beliefs beyond that point. Does that get at the meat of any of this?
Well, if you can't show them that they're wrong.
Yeah, that's the other one we were talking about a little bit. Or maybe they both hit on something in the middle that I'm
nine is about going up the scale. Like, I go up the scale because my idea only ever shows I'm right, even though it could never under any circumstance show me I'm wrong. And number 17 is, I'm justified to be where I'm at now that I'm here, at my high degree of confidence in my idea, because, or despite of, the fact that no one could under any circumstances show me that my idea is not true. My question is, could those people be there on 24, mistaken and unaware of it?
I mean, definitely they can be. I can't know that they all are, though. I don't think they're de facto wrong. I don't think they're accidentally right either.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's that thing where it's like a clock's correct twice a day when it's broken. I don't think that they're accidentally... I don't think that it's like it would be a fluke win. I think they could be really correct, but that they know a measurement that I don't know. I think that would happen in a circumstance which they have a system that I don't know. Say she does a thing, and it told her a thing, and like I'm 100% ignorant about it. That's why I leave the wiggle room, I think.
And that's good. Yeah, having a little bit of doubt even in your doubts is what I'm hearing you say.
For sure,
right?
their beliefs. Yeah, positive or negative.
Sure.
Like they're both like directions, yeah.
So this friend who says that they're from space,
so regrettable. Yeah.
If you and I can't show that they're not from space, does that mean you and I should be highly confident that we know that they're not?
Should we be highly confident in our belief that she's not right because she can't prove that she's right.
Right. So, like, if 0 is, I have no idea. Oh, I'm filled with questions about this idea. Like, this is very odd. I am filled with wonder and mystery, and I have no answers at all. If that's 0, would there be like more room to say I know it's false? I mean, like a separate scale almost, going into the negative numbers for a claim.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I still haven't answered 18. The most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality.
Yeah.
And that gets at the heart of this too, where, oh no.
My timer ran out, by the
wrong.
way, so I want to give you an opportunity to check in for more time. I like to try to periodically get more consent for time. If you want, you can take this and think about it some more and maybe come back with whatever questions you have, or we can get into astrology, or we can get into whatever you want to talk about. I just want to give you an out here.
No, I would not like to get out. Do you want the out?
I have more time.
Cool.
Yeah,
dude. Now last one's hard.
It's a tough process, and for a lot of people it can be a really heavy process because we're talking about not just any belief, we're talking about all of our beliefs.
Yeah, most important.
And other people's beliefs. Yeah. And how we think it's important or not important to change, and how frustrated we get with other people who don't. And whether or not there could be conflict with beliefs. How important is the truth to us? How do we consider something true? All these things are good questions.
Yeah. I ended up marking in the middle for the most important criteria for my beliefs being matching reality, because I think matching reality is really important, but I think that the value of incorrect beliefs, I think that the most important criteria for the beliefs is that they remain open and flexible more than matching reality, because I mostly don't think that reality is something that one person can ever 100% confidence know.
Okay. So here's a thought experiment. Let's go ahead and set this aside for a second.
Cool.
Imagine I have a box of truth. Kind of like Pandora's box.
I mentioned Stranger's box. It's good.
You can ask this box any question you like. Any question at all. And this box will understand the intent behind your words. And when you open the box after asking your question, it will reveal all the evidence you need to see to believe that it is or is not the case. Is there any question you would not ask the box?
I was worried I was going to have to be asked what I was going to ask the box. I'm quite relieved to know that I don't. I want to give this a real good think, because my instinct is to be like, there's no question I wouldn't ask the box. But there could be. It's that doubting the doubt again. Like, there really could be a question I wouldn't ask the box. It's almost like by coming up with questions I shouldn't ask the box, they become the most important questions to ask the box. So
I like you.
No.
I have respect for you now. That was a good answer. Yeah.
Thanks.
That was really good.
No, I love this. This
is
really good.
Okay, that was question 1.
It's good.
Question 2 is, and this might be redundant since you answered the way that you did on the first question, but imagine the box can only lower your confidence. Either for things that you think are not true and for things that you think are true. They can only reduce your number closer to 0. Is there any question you wouldn't ask the box then at that point?
Well, I wouldn't want to be self-conscious with the box. where it's like, am I doing this right? My instinct, like inside of me, like emotionally, it's like, I wouldn't want to start doubting myself and ask the box, like, have I done something wrong to lose my confidence in my beliefs? That's what I would not want to ask the box, because I already, like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to hear something that lowered my confidence on that, too, that I'm, like, doing the box wrong. Because, like, where do you go from, like, a wrong approach
Wait,
on...
I'm not sure I understood
Oh,
that.
yeah. No, it's hard.
Can
yeah.
you explain it again?
Yeah. So the box can only lower my confidence.
Yeah.
If I ask the box if I'm doing the box wrong, and that's why my confidence is going lowered, and it answered in a way that lowered my confidence, and that even further.
So you would ask questions about the nature of the box and how it's influencing you? That's kind of cool. I dig that. Okay.
I wonder if anyone else asks questions of the box's system.
I hear all sorts of answers for the box of truth thought experiment. Here's the very last one. What's your first question for the box?
Oh, God damn it, you did do
let's
it
say,
to me.
Let's say, yeah, that
you
was...
did it to me.
That's the third question on this thought experiment.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to vape about it for a second.
Sure, yeah. Well, we can also pass on that. That was...
What? No!
No? You gotta think
No,
about it?
I just want...
Okay.
I have 95% confidence that I just need a little bit of time for that to settle in.
Yeah.
What's the very first question I would ask the boss? I'm glad I don't just have one question. That was worrisome. I was like I was worried you were going to ask what's the most important question to ask the boss, and I would be lost. The first one is kind of the most important, though, I guess, because it's like the most pressing. I would want to know my score. I would be like, am I really a 65? Like, how accurate am I? It's disgusting. The first question I would ask the box is, like, where am I currently? Like, where do you say, box, I am between all your contents and the shit I think you have inside of you? Like, what do I think is inside of that box versus what you actually contain in reality?
Okay.
Like, if there's a reality that collapses when I open the box and it's only the stuff in that box, you know, it's definitely Schrodinger's box in my head. Like, fucking that. I want to know if I am correct that there's like 2 blue pens, like nothing in the box. Like, if I thought there was nothing and there's a bunch of shit in the box, I want them to be like you're entirely incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, and about astrology and everything, like all my beliefs about stuff. If the box contains, does the box contain every truth?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I think I assumed that.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah, imagine it's like Pandora's box.
So it does have every truth in it. It has total truth.
Provided you know the question to ask. So it's not like it'll give you all truth just by opening it. You have to think of the question to ask it.
Yeah, it can only speak one thing at a time, and it only answers questions. That's
Right.
fine. Yeah. Yeah, I would want to know my reality score.
Okay.
So that I know where I'm starting from with my questions.
Is another way to rephrase what you're saying, like you would want to know the beliefs in which you think are true, which are false?
I would want them to upfront tell me, like, what am I wrong about? Yeah.
Well, yeah, what am I wrong about?
Yeah.
That'd be 24, because you think it's possible. And it sounds like you'd be like, I want to be aware of those things.
Yeah, I would ask what I was wrong about.
Yeah, you marked neutral on 18, though I'm not so sure. Maybe you do value the truth a bit more than just neutral. What does it mean? What does it mean to mark agree on 18? The most important criteria for my beliefs is that they match reality.
I don't think that leaves enough room for all of the things that lie in, like, doubt, which is like hunches, feelings.
Yeah. Well, if you doubt something,
gut feelings.
Are you closed to it?
It's a trust issue. It's like you don't trust that it's showing you reality.
If your confidence is low, does that mean that you... What does that mean? If your confidence is low, when you are filled with questions, does that mean that your beliefs aren't matching? Or when you have high confidence?
Oh, that's an awesome question. Oh, that might have been a hole in my whole logic. Can you ask that again?
Yeah. if your confidence is low, and you're filled with questions,
Right now.
yeah, and you're filled with
Yeah.
questions, is that not matching, or is high confidence in something being the case, even if it's false? Like,
Oh no, that would be not matching the second, the latter.
yeah. So if you just
Yeah.
don't know,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's provided you can prove a reality about a given item. Believing the opposite would be like the zero or whatever, and being filled with like appropriate openness, where it's like I think that it would be when I'm asking the box, like, am I correct? I think a correct score, where it's like, oh, she's in the green on this one, would be that I don't hold a false belief. I think holding false beliefs is what gets you a lower reality score.
Yeah.
So it's not really the confidence score, it's like the reality score. And so that's my 65 is
Earlier-
what I think I'm objectively correct about.
yeah. Earlier you mentioned being above 50 was like holding a belief, or am I putting words in your mouth?
Kind of. Well,
That's
being
when you
above
start to
50
believe?
is when I start to have a bias.
When you start to
It's when I start to
confidence.
have a little more confidence than
Yeah.
less confidence, and then 75 is where it meets.
So
Like-
maybe another way to think about this would be,
Yeah.
and correct me if this isn't the right way to think about it, I'm just kind of wondering based off of what I'm hearing you say,
Yeah.
that when you are a high degree of confidence, you have a picture painted in your mind about what you think is true. And when you're lower on that scale, it's more like a blank canvas. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I guess so. Yeah. Or to have like a sophisticated system. Like if your system is if your belief is made of other beliefs that are also made of like other beliefs that are really strong, that's how you get there. I don't know. That seems a bit recursive. Like, how does anyone get original points? But
So we just did a light version of the survey and we danced all over it. And I've got so many more questions. I'm always so filled with questions. But what I think I'd like to do is do another interview with you, either later this evening or tomorrow. There's only like a day left of this festival. So take this, think about it, and I'd like you to come back to me at some point before we're out of here. And then I'd really like to get into astrology,
yeah.
and how you know that's true, or something that you find to be more important, or maybe you thought about that box of truth thought experiment and you have a different claim you want to approach. All these things are great, and you've been a pleasure to talk to today. Thanks, Sparkles.
This is good.
Yeah.
It's Sprinkles, but everyone's been calling me
Sprinkles?
Sparkles.
Oh, I misread it. I'm sorry.
The name is
Sprinkles.
Sprinkles. The
I
claim
actually
is
like
Sparkles.
Sprinkles more anyway. So,
Yeah,
because
no,
I've met a lot of Sparkles.
Every single person
but not a lot of
calling me
Sprinkles.
Sparkles, and it's like, no, I've like this festival I've probably been calling 45 times. Like, thanks, Sparkles.
Yeah.
It's there's something happening. It's okay. That's all right.
That was good. That was a very
was
enjoyable
super
interview.
good.
Yeah.
I've sort of lost my mind, bro.
friends, Tell your friends.
I think I'm gonna go sit at the chair on the edge.
Yeah, stare at that mountain for a bit. It's glorious. We're in a pristine environment. It's really awesome out here.
I feel like I just took more drugs than ever. That was crazy.
It's a trip. That's why I like
How
to do
did
the
you
festivals.
begin to want to? Is this your profession? Did you go to school for this?
I'm trying to make it my profession if people on YouTube will support my Patreon and stuff like that. But
Oh, so you try to like teach people? Is there like a
I
group
do-
for people
I do-
to do a special?
I talk to people online about this. I am actually helping to build a course on it. It's called Street Epistemology.
Yeah.
Epistemology is the philosophy of knowledge.
Yeah.
And this is using a modernized version of the Socratic method to examine your views and bring clarity to your views. It's like a non-violent way to investigate beliefs that also push people a little and challenge them a little bit. And then I end every
Any
interview.
of my beliefs changed. I think I just refined what the hell I believe.
Yeah, well, I think what we did was we talked about the beliefs about how you form your beliefs.
I guess.
And
so, yeah.
in my experience, your beliefs don't change because of one interview. what tends to happen is there's like a pebble in your shoe, and you remember certain things from the conversation, and then you'll be walking around thinking about it later, and you may change your confidence level about things a month from now.
Yeah.
And that's where the real change will happen, probably, if any. Maybe they don't change. Sometimes they don't.
When you send me this and the other one, can you send me a snapshot of what I wrote on that paper too? Take a screenshot. Well, can I just look at it again?
Yeah.
What I wrote down?
Before you go.
Oh, I took it. You gave it to me.
I did give it to you.
Why?
Yeah.
Isn't it yours?
No,
Folded it all up and
it's
stuff.
yours.
Well, why did you have those other people's?
What I'd like actually before you go maybe is I'll take a picture of it.
No, I'm gonna come back. I forgot.
Yeah, you're gonna come back.
We should do it tonight, maybe. I don't know how early tomorrow I have to leave.
Okay.
But only if you have time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love doing this. It's a fun hobby.
This is so good. Yeah, dude.
You like it?
I wish I had encountered this like a million years ago.
Well,
this is so good.
There's an online version of this, and you can send it to your friends, and you can both fill it out together, and then you can ask each other questions about how you got to where you are on the confidence scale, 1 to 5, basically. And then you can practice this method too, just asking questions and being open and challenging people with questions. Yeah.
I definitely listened to what you're saying. I'm just also like,
yeah,
it's
right.
a whole lot to take in.
It is.
I
That's
bet
why
you
I
don't
ended
remember
it now.
your first time. There was a point at which you were given this interview at one point, right? Do you remember it?
That I was what?
Given this interview.
Oh,
you were the one on the other end.
I found this on a website, and somebody else made it, and since then we've changed like 10 or 20 of them out of the 24. Because I probably use that survey more than anyone else. I've done like probably 300 or 400 of those surveys, and I use it in a way that it wasn't intended. Somebody made it to just fill out on your own for self-reflection, and they didn't use it as an outline for a conversation. And I was like, this is a great outline for a conversation. I changed, along with a group of other nerds online, I changed a bunch of these, and then reword them, re-refine them, and then made them easier to understand. Or
holy shit.
I've been working on it for like a year.
Only a year?
It looks really simple because you can fit it all on one page, but it's actually really hard to come up with these statements in order to get clarity.
Yeah. No, I felt that just now of like how hard it is to talk about this.
Yeah.
Even when you practice a lot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Cool.
I think people fit really well. Thanks.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well,
that was fucking great.